Hey ladies, it's Saturday night and you know what that means. You want to get away. Single Moms Lifestyle presents the Saturday Night Getaway.
Boo, 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 boo. Hola!
Hello, ladies.
Hello. Hola, señoritas, lolitas, bobitas. Hey, everybody. Welcome. We're back. So,
We're back.
We are busy. If it is your first time tuning in, you're now tuned into Single Moms to Wives Saturday Night Getaway. Of course, I'm your host, Queen G. Sitting here with my beautiful co-host, we have Miss Shelly Ellison in the middle.
Hi, y'all.
Bluebird. And of course, we got my girl, Simply Lorraine.
Hey, everybody.
Hey. And we are missing my boo thing. Not your status quo. We have to definitely send our condolences to her and her family on the loss of her aunt. We love you guys. We're praying for you, and we will see you soon. So this is season 3, show 15. Oh, we've been hanging in there.
We're hanging in there.
Yeet. So, listen, guys, we are here every Saturday night, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Please make sure you guys tune in, like, and share our page. We're live on Facebook on our Single Moms to Wives, Single Moms Lifestyle, Single Moms to Wives page, as well as YouTube, which is Single Moms Lifestyle, Single Moms to Wives. Please share, and we appreciate your time. I got so many shout outs and announcements and all of this, so I'm gonna try to stay focused. But we want to wish everybody in the month of June a happy birthday.
Happy birthday. Happy birthday.
Yes, it's a big month for my family. So happy belated birthday, which was on the 7th, to my husband, Corey Poe, the big 40P. He just turned 40.
Happy birthday. Happy birthday, Corey.
Yes.
Thank y'all. And Brandon, the graduate, is turning 18 on the 27th. So, woo. Do y'all have any June birthdays?
Yes. Natasha.
Oh, yeah.
1st of June. So happy belated birthday, baby girl. Still again, happy birthday. And my Aunt Brenda's birthday was today. So happy birthday, Aunt Brenda.
Happy birthday. Yay. Oh, I forgot baby girl did it. What you got?
Now, this is the first month I don't have no birthday. I think we ran out of people in all the other months because I don't have nobody else.
Well, we are also celebrating our 5th year anniversary on the 23rd. So, that's coming up. So June is just like a major money month for me. And I do mean withdrawal, not deposits. So help me, Jesus. Yeah, this was a really big year for us. So of course, like I mentioned, we've been we're 2 shows behind because we took a little break to celebrate all of our graduates. And gosh, guys, we gotta wish you guys a congratulations again. These babies did their thing, especially, going through a pandemic, in and out of school, trying to adjust to their what they've known, a schedule that they've known as far as education all of their lives, completely topsy-turvy. So it was amazing to see all of the graduates walk the stage, and Calhoun literally had 100% graduation rate. So
Awesome. That is
I was
awesome.
like, okay. So, yeah, but shout out to everybody, whether you graduated 5th grade, preschool, kindergarten, whatever it is, 8th grade. Parents
I,
are serious nowadays about their kids
look,
graduating.
and
So,
I'm gonna tell you, I was taking my great niece to school this year. I was helping her mom this year. So we was going on the last day of school, and she's in preschool. And she walks up to the school, and they got the balloons and out and everything, get ready for graduation. And she said, "Whose birthday?" And I
uh-uh.
said, "It's nobody's birthday." I said, "You guys are getting ready to graduate, so you can go to big school." And she was like,
Yeah.
"I don't know about that."
Right, right. And look, listen. She said, "Wait a minute. I don't know if
She
I'm
was
ready to
like, "I
grow
don't know about
up."
that."
She has definitely got the right mindset. Okay.
I said she saw those balloons and she's like, "Whose birthday?" And I was like, "No,
Oh,
it's
bless
nobody's
her
birthday."
heart.
So yeah,
Yes,
they,
honey.
adjusting for everybody and then being out of school and then having to go back but part-time and then sometimes be on
Yeah,
virtual and sometimes be live. That's a lot for little kids to adjust to.
yeah. It is, and shout out to all of the parents, who I call the real MVPs to make those adjustments, adjusting their jobs, even the employers. It was just something to see, when it
I know,
hit.
and
But
I'm gonna say shout out to the teachers
oh, for
because
sure, the
they
teachers,
did
they're the
above
ones.
and beyond
Yeah,
to try to
yeah,
make sure that even some of the parents were up to date with stuff that needs
yeah.
to happen for their
Absolutely.
children.
Because, baby, if you
So
ain't, listen, if you ain't, if you ain't been in school in a long time, you may not be smart as a 5th grader, okay? So,
I'm trying to tell you. Listen, have you
listen,
taken your idiot
everybody,
test today? Yeah.
girl, right.
Well,
I'm talking, but can we get a tutor or not? So, listen, everybody,
I'm
um,
telling you.
you guys are more than welcome to send us an email if you would like to be on the show, if you have any show topic suggestions, or you would like for us to give you a shout out or someone you love. The email is singlemomslifestyleradio@gmail.com. Clearly, we're not on the radio. This is just honestly our impromptu the radio, especially given pandemic and all the circumstances. So we'll be here live, but we will definitely give you guys a shout out if you would like, or we would love to have you on the show. Again, the email is singlemomslifestyleradio@gmail.com. And tonight's topic.
oh, I almost forgot one birthday shout out. I got to get it in
Okay,
before we
go,
start.
go
Okay.
ahead.
And one of my best friends, Miss Radika Brown's birthday was on the 5th. So happy
Okay,
belated
Dika
birthday.
Dika,
Yeah.
happy
Happy
birthday.
birthday.
Hey,
I'm
I'm
here for the
ready.
birthday. Yes. So, tonight's topic is I am not your friend. I'm your parent. So we are going to talk about that tonight. Tonight, we're going to talk about it. Um, I have just been paying attention to, as we evolve, a lot of things change and people change, and parents literally, if you're like me, by the time you get to 3 and 4, I always say I should have just named Brandon. I quit. I'm tired. I was tired by number 4. What's your name? I quit. So, but with each child, you learn what to do, what not to do, things like that. And then sometimes with an only child, there are some things that you may be a little bit more lenient on because it's just them. It's your only baby. So these are just our opinions. We just come on here to literally have a conversation, chop it up. It's something positive for us to do with our time, rather than having idle minds or binging out on these Netflix shows that I'm looking forward to. Shout out Tony for all of the the new series you didn't sent me. But this is our
I'm
something to
gonna
do.
tell
So
y'all, I have a whole unhealthy fascination with major crimes. Don't know what that's
oh
about. Don't know where that
Lord.
came. Don't know
You
where that
sound
came
like
from.
Corey
But
Poe.
I have watched every episode, and now I guess whenever I started binging on it, it was in the middle of like almost the last season. So now they done went back to the beginning of where it started, and I'm watching them too. My husband is like, "What
No.
is with you in these crime shows? Is there something?"
Right, right. Listen, doing that, and I'm real big on actually in our home spirits and all that. So I'm just like, and so I was trying we were trying to look for a movie, and it was playing, that show was playing, and I'm just kind of like the little kid, like la 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 la. I don't want to hear it. So yeah, y'all got that. You look
Girl,
like somebody that
and
might end up being like a mortician or something. You into
I'm
stuff
like,
like
and I
that.
don't even know what that's about because I don't like, scary movies. I don't do a whole
Yeah,
lot of blood and guts, but it
yeah.
just interests me, and I don't know why.
You might be
It,
wanting to learn the mindset of people. I don't
uh,
know.
something is fitting in there. Maybe I just need some more stories or something.
Yeah,
But
honey, I've
yes,
got
I'm
to find me
sorry. I didn't
something.
mean to
No,
interrupt about
nope,
our
you are
topic going on. I
fine. You
just
are fine. Listen, I just went and bitched out on the blacklist, and let me tell you, I'm so mad. Like, I want more. So
yep.
I get it. I get it. But so ladies, let's talk. Let's chop it up. Everybody that is following, thank you. That is watching live now, thank you. Please like and share our page. We're trying to just bring more awareness to having these conversations. It's just real talk. Again, our opinions. But just things that pertain to family. In whatever capacity that means for you, but these are just topics that we're interested in, and again, we're open for any suggestions. But this one, ladies, when you hear "I am not your friend, I'm your parent," what comes to mind for you guys? Simply Lorraine, what
Man,
comes to
that
mind?
was, hey, listen, raising my son, that was most definitely, you could say that phrase had frequent fire miles over here because, honey, listen,
I like that.
for real, I told him all the time, I'm your mother. I'm not your friend. I'm your parent. I'm not your friend. I said, guess
Yeah.
what? You might not like me till you 25, so it's okay with me.
Yes.
You might not
Yeah.
like, you know what I mean? You might not really, we might are, you know what I mean? Because once they get older, then your relationship will change. But again, you're still their parent. No, I
Yes.
don't dictate where you go anymore. I'm not telling you what to do on a day-to-day basis anymore, but I'm still what you could say a voice of reason. You know what I'm saying? At this point
Right.
in time, you can come back and talk to me about
Yeah.
different things that are going on in life and how you feeling, what you're dealing with. And sometimes I've had to learn to just sit and listen though, so I can
Yeah.
Yes.
see what he may be going through, where his mindset is.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, I agree with that. Shelly, what comes to
Yes,
mind
ma'am.
when you hear that topic?
Well, right off the top of my head, I get Instagram. Only because there's this video on Instagram. And this little boy, you know how they do, I think it might even be TikTok. He might have posted it on Instagram from TikTok. And it's like, they do the video and then they change the music and they sit up and they say something else. So he's like
Uh-huh.
laying on the bed and you hear the music going. And he said, now, how come parents, when the kids be up in their room, they say, well, why don't come out and talk to us? You don't act like we ain't here. And then the music changes. He says, because you ain't one of my friends, remember? Where's Barbara and Sarah? Go talk to them. So that is my immediate thought. But
I love that. I love
Yeah,
that.
that's good.
but really,
I love
I
that.
understand, you know what I'm saying, as the parent, you're not their friend, you know what I'm saying, because you have to give them hard truths that
Right.
a lot of friends don't know to give their friends, you know what I'm saying,
Yeah.
I mean, you're in the same age, you rarely do you have a different mindset, you know, at 13, 14, 15 years
Right.
old than each other. So for
Right.
us to be able to help them develop the mindset that they're going to need as grown-ups, you know what I'm saying, you can't be their friend in that aspect because
Mhm.
you're not supposed to think like they are at that point, at this
Right.
point,
Right.
you know, and
And
so
I love that. Yeah. Yeah. I absolutely love how you worded that because again, you are we are given a God-given assignment to prepare them. You know what I
yeah,
mean? To be first and foremost thinkers, you know?
exactly,
And yeah,
and
if
what they
we
decide to do with their life, that none of us can control that, but
yeah,
Very true.
making it aware that they have to think about things like that for
yeah,
themselves
yeah.
is our duty.
You know,
Mhm.
I've been God, I witnessed so many different forms, of course, it's life of parenting, but it just really tugs at me, nudges at me when I see parents that debate with their children. Like children literally feel like they have while you should have a voice in your own mind and an opinion, but when it's being done in a manner where they feel like they're your equal,
Yes, because you have
Houston,
to learn how to have a
listen,
healthy conversation,
yeah,
but
Houston, you have
we
to
got a
learn how
problem.
to have conversations where there is levels to this shit. Let me just say that. You
Yes,
understand? So
yes,
it's levels to
Oh,
this. And you got to know how to have a conversation where you still understand you're talking to your parent. So
parent,
I've
yes,
seen
or
kids,
guardian, or foster mother,
grandparent,
or
aunt,
adopted parents,
uncle.
or grandparents, uncles,
Yes.
however your family dynamic is. It
Yes.
doesn't stop
Yes.
because they're not your biological parent. If somebody has
Yes.
taken you into their home and given you a
Hey,
roof over your head with
yeah.
food in your stomach and clothes on
Respect.
your back and those things,
Yes.
that is a
Yes.
respectable
Yes.
person that you
Yes.
need to have that
Absolutely.
type of
Absolutely.
conversation, respect
Yeah.
for.
And that's my thing where, and of course, we're gonna have to switch it up and mix and mingle it a lot throughout the conversation. But it's just to where I feel like a lot of respect for elders, a lot of respect for parents, in general, elders, has just been distorted. And I've
Now
been trying to
I am
figure
gonna
out.
say this. Let,
Uh
let,
huh.
let me interject and say this too. The respect should be given to anybody older than you initially anyway. Anyway,
Period.
no, period, point blank. However, there are those people not
Yeah, yeah,
who
yeah. I know
feel
where you're going. Go ahead. Go
who
ahead.
I'm so glad
feel
you
like
said
Go
this.
ahead.
because they are older, they have the
Hey,
right to say to you
hey.
whatever they feel.
Well,
And
Thank
and
you
if
for that.
that's something you're not giving me, how do you expect me to give that to you as a child? Because I don't know how to formulate that type of respect for myself yet. And how can I give that to you if you're not showing me what that looks like?
hey, God. Simply Ray, I know I already listen.
You know, she hit on my topic right there. I am all over that. I
I
am
mean,
all
you
over
know,
that.
really.
So look, she just literally she just yoked us over into that other lane. I was going to try to gradually,
Ain't no
slide
gradual. Just
into.
And
pull,
she said,
just pull the band-aid off and
Well,
just
listen,
I'm
she
over
go.
here
just
trying not to go
snatched
there.
it off because absolutely, and that's the twist. I added to the post about this show. You understand? Because baby, I'm finna step on some toes and some more toes, and that's fine because it's my opinion.
Yep.
But you got too many parents that kick it with they kids like their friends. You got too many parents with not enough adult friends that kick it with their children, and then when it's convenient, you understand,
Then you want to
or
be the parent.
allow their children to take on responsibilities of an adult,
Adult.
wait
Yes.
for their time,
Yep.
and then they want to say, today's Tuesday, respect me Tuesday.
Yep.
Listen, we got to stay one way.
If they didn't respect you, if you didn't make them respect you Saturday night, they're not gonna respect you Tuesday morning. That's not gonna happen.
It's not going to happen. But there, and again, so I think there's levels to this when we talk about, not being their friends. I absolutely love and adore my children, and now all but one who I just will not give him 18 yet, until the 27th. So anyway,
let that baby be 18. Let him be 18.
He ain't.
It's the
But
month. He was
all
born
of
this month, so this month.
well, nope, I ain't went in
I
late
mean,
yet.
some
Not
adults
until
party
27th.
all month, so he's 18 all month. Okay.
all
No, he
month
not.
long.
No, he's
All
not.
month.
Not until after the 27th. Y'all let me live, okay?
Okay.
But I have an amazing relationship with my children as far as we laugh, we joke, we kick it. We play games, we enjoy each other, we have deep conversations. You know what I mean? We surf, we do all of that, but it's still, and there, when I say my children, we're talking 25, almost what, 24. We have 25, 24, 23, and almost 18. So, but they just know even now, again, it's levels to this.
Yes.
I'm gonna always be your mother. You know what I mean? I don't care if you living in your own house or not. I'm gonna always be your mother. And
Because
I
like
don't
with
put my
Diamond, there's a space where you can give them an opportunity to grow and to learn and to
absolutely,
understand
yeah,
themselves. You know what I'm saying? But with that, like and you're right, Gwen. I did give her a lot of leeway in a lot of areas because it was just she and I. You know what I'm saying? But the one thing I don't tolerate is disrespect. You cannot clean your room. You cannot. You know what I'm saying? Do your homework or stuff like that. You could not want to go to school or whatever that case may have been, but you won't be disrespectful. You can even speak your opinion, but there's a way to speak your opinion without getting out of order.
Respectfully.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that is the one thing that just that boat just don't float. That boat just don't float.
Crazy. I actually posted on our page, somebody that's a Facebook friend of mine, she posted recently, like, am I the only parent that check with other kids' parents when they are supposed to like have a play date or spend the night with somebody or whatever? Do you do that? Am I the only one? She said, because these kids swear they slick.
Let me tell you.
And I'm like, honey, I'm the one, like, I ain't seen them parents' face. I don't know these people. You know what I mean? I'm checking. And again,
whenever
even
Diamond
now,
wanted to go somewhere, if I could not meet the parents of that child, she could not go. Now, this might have been the first time that you'd have never met this kid. Y'all go to school together, okay, whoever. But if I can't meet the mama or the daddy, or if you live with the sister or whoever that is, then no, you can't go. And there was this one, like, now I really never had any issue with the parents because most parents understand that, and I'm the one, I need her to be treated the way you treat yours. So I need you to care for her in that way because that's how I'm going to do that. So there was only one parent and she was like, Diamond wanted to spend the night. And she was like, well, mama, her mother said, well, why do you need to meet her? I said, well, you know what? I'm not going to give an answer to that. And my question is, you not going, because why would she not want me to meet her? And that's the end of that. We're not going to go no further into that.
The end of that.
That's that.
Yeah.
You can't go.
Yeah. I mean, even now I have where everybody knows Brand just graduated. He's got a car. He's really a great kid. I cannot complain, honestly. And he's probably been the most free-spirited, free bird out of all of them. He's a really great
Cause
kid.
what you say his name is, I'm tired.
I'm tired. I quit. You understand? I quit. But the thing is that there's still boundaries, there's still rules. Sir, I need you here before dark, before the sun goes down. You know what I mean? You going to a party, okay. What time we looking like respectfully, you know what I'm saying, and coming in. I'll give him a chance to throw something out there, you know what I mean? And he already knows me. It's already been established. It's levels to this. And even with my adult children, you know, whenever they live at home, it's not even a matter of you being an adult at this point. It's a matter of the rules of
respecting
my
house.
And
respecting my
so,
house.
yeah, hey, you ain't in this joint by 12 midnight. I see you tomorrow. It's just that simple.
It's that simple.
But I think that is so important to establish these levels of respect at a very young age. Because if you don't, somewhere along the lines, you know, of course, Peter Paul try them all. These kids are gonna develop, you know, a habit of disrespecting not only you, but they're gonna try other adults, and they just may run into me one day. You understand? And I'm not. I ain't responsible. Sometimes I got Tourette's. You know what I mean?
Excuse me, ma'am. Excuse me, ma'am.
Baby, listen, I done been around kids that make my whole head be like, who is you talking to? It ain't even my child, but I'm like, the respect thing is major for me.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? It's major. And Simply Ray, I have to allow you to comment. We're going to rewind because Shelley made a statement that I know only you can elaborate on, where you have parents that will really put their children in a position to be an adult and then turn around and say, hey, I'm your parent, respect me. But I just allowed you to be the parent for yesterday. For, you know, understand, just yesterday. But today, not. How do you see that affecting children and their level of respect on a consistent base?
Well, it may not harm the respect level as far on a consistent basis, but what their parent may have to deal with later on is when this child has moments in their life where they're dealing with their feelings, their emotions, their issues, and those will be moments where the parent doesn't feel like they have respect at that moment, or they have that type of like, I'm mom, I'm dad, I'm this. It's kind of like, you know, if you allow that child to play the role that doesn't belong to them and allow them to stay in that role, then at your convenience, how are they supposed to drop in? Like, it could be a son. How he supposed to drop in from dad to everybody in the house, including daddy and brothers and sisters? And then today I'm supposed to jump into son. How do you switch roles like that at somebody's convenience? It's impossible. Almost.
Yeah.
With a young adult or a teenager who's becoming an adult. Like, this is a role that they play every day, in and out. And it's kind of like at your convenience or at someone's convenience, you want to say, well, I'm this. And it's kind of like, well, okay.
And that goes to what I was saying when I say that they haven't been able to develop their own mindset to know how to be respectful in that manner. So when you're showing them, or pardon my French, sit the fuck down and do this and do that, you know what I'm saying? Then how do you expect them to talk to you? That's their level of communication that they're receiving. So when I give that to you, that should be a reflection. Like, wait a minute, do I talk to you like that? Do I, you know what I'm saying? And for the parent or the adult, that should be that self-reflection for yourself that says, Well, where did you get that from? Because you can't say you
Right.
didn't get it from home if the parent doesn't speak like that. But now, if that's how you talk to your child, and you stupid this and you stupid that, and why you can't sit down, and why you can't get it, and that's how they're gonna respond. I mean,
And you're so that's so true. I literally did a show where I literally you know you gotta sit with your shit sometimes and just
you
being
do.
very transparent. Like there is so many, of course, you know, I'm still learning, I'm still growing, and I pray that I'm doing that till the day I die. But then being those moments where, you know, you look back and you see the behavior that you have actually shown your kids, whether it was directly or indirectly, you see it let me not say on them. You know what I mean?
Well, you
It's
said it
like,
right there. You show them, not you tell them. You show them
show
what's
them.
happening, because kids learn by what they see. You know what I'm
And
saying?
I
And
believe,
even though we have
yeah,
to, yes, and even though we have to teach them, that faith is living past what you see, your actions that they see every day kind of
but see, I believe
establish
yeah.
that of
And I think
of
that
who
we're
they
in
are.
that. Absolutely. And I believe we're in that season and we're seeing a generation, and it's been the last couple of generations. It's not do as I say anymore. It's been the do
Mm,
as I see generations. And that's where we
yep,
have to grow with that. But again, it's consistency. You know, I
yep,
say it all the time. I'm 41 years old. I do not, and I repeat, I don't curse in front of my elders, not my mom, not my aunts, not my uncles. Will never be that cool. You
yep,
understand? Like it's just
yep.
I don't curse in front of my grandmother. Will never be
So now
that
we'd have
cool.
been in a couple situations where a few things that been said, but it's not like that's a
Right.
I'm
No,
not
like a
coming off the
norm.
hip
I
with
mean, like where you just sitting up and you having a
yeah,
conversation,
and
and it's
no.
B and it's S and it's, and you have
Yep.
your elder sitting right there. It's never been my
Yep.
thing. My children don't do it. Consistency. You
Hmm.
know what I mean? They don't curse in front of me. They don't curse in front of my mother, my grandmother. It is just something that has I again, to each his own, but it's just something that I had to establish because I don't ever want them to not appreciate the seasons. Like you gotta earn,
Yes.
you know what I mean, your respect. And it's not just
Yes.
because grandma, our great grandma, our mom, but we all have earned the level and the season that we're in. You understand? And I want them to have the
Hmm.
same thing. If everybody is operating on the same level, there's confusion there. I don't know, you know what I
All
mean?
the
Why,
time.
you know what I'm saying? Who's who, what's what?
Even if you think about just that concept in the concept
Mhm.
of business, because everybody gonna either need a job, they gonna make a job, they gonna be a boss, or they gonna have a boss. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So in that
yeah,
form of business, so when it comes to that, you have levels to that. You got managers, you got supervisors, you have employees, and all of them have a different job. And so if
yeah.
everybody is trying to do the same job, the production is messed up somewhere.
Yes, yes. Everybody has a job. And so I know that I used to be very strict when it came to certain things with my younger children. If it wasn't okay to do it at home, you can't go to grandma's house and do it. If
Else and
you
do it.
don't jump
Nope.
on my couch at home
You ain't finna jump on the couch over there.
at all, sit your if you don't sit down,
Sit thee
like
down.
wait, I
Sit it
just seen
down.
a post where somebody was saying something about how do you know when your husband is over in the King James version or something like that. If thou don't sit theest down right now, if you don't know if what I am is gonna do it to you is your asses. If you don't, but
Girl, I'm
yeah,
telling you, because kids they get away with what you allow. And
yeah,
you
yeah,
can't
yeah,
allow them to say things and do things that are I ain't even gonna say uncharacteristic, because they really don't know what that characteristic is until they're taught on how to do that. So you have to
Right.
establish some kind of normalcy and some kind of respect boundary for them,
Right.
to so that
Right.
they know how to be able to formulate that level of respect for themselves when you're not there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying?
And
Because
so
you can check them good when you're there, but when you're not there and they go over somebody's house and the other kids is jumping on the couch and they like, oh, you finna get a whooping. You know what
yeah.
I'm saying? You
Yeah.
finna get a whooping
And
if
I
you jump on
think
the couch. We don't do that at my house.
right. And what
Oh,
you're speaking of is what we I teach as far as the integrity part of it, you know, and I
Mm-hmm.
do it again at a
That's the
very
word.
young
Yep.
age, you know. And it's just knowing what to do and doing it when nobody is looking, the right thing. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And so of course kids are gonna be kids. I said it before, Peter Paul try 'em all. But I don't ever want my kids to feel like, as cool as I feel like I am, hello, hence the nickname, I'm cool. But as cool as I feel
I'm not
like I
ever that
am,
cool for you to step outside of that line.
we ain't ever gonna be that cool. That raising your voice, yelling, er, er, who is
yeah.
you? You know what I mean? Like you got to go back
That
to
means
who
just
is.
at this point, it's just like leave the vicinity. We can't even be in the same space at this point in time. Just let one of us have to shake. That's what's got to happen now. We got to go our separate
Simply
ways. This
Lorray,
conversation can't go no more. Like, you know
when I
what? Oh,
tell
yeah, we
you,
got to. Mm-mm.
when I tell you, I just had that conversation with Queen G, and I told her that I had that issue with my daughter. She needed me to do something for her yesterday, and I was like,
Mhm.
"Well, I can't do that, right now. I don't even remember what raised her voice." And I said, "Hold on, wait a minute. Who do you think you're talking to?" Well, you not. Bye. I got to hang up this phone, and I just hung up the phone. We're not finna do that. That's what we won't do.
So no,
So
ma'am,
what
ham or
else
the turkey.
happened is, not only did I hang up on you, now you don't have no resolution to whatever it was that you needed, because I'm sure not doing it now. So,
And that's up here. Let me tell you something. The way that my children are, they literally like Brandon. Y'all, everybody know Brandon is goofy. He's silly. He might yell or say something, and Adriana might be like, and Lyric will be like, "Mama, whoop him." They will be like, "Mama,
you
slap
would have
him."
whooped us. You would have
Right.
whooped us.
Or they'll be like, "Who is you talking to? I know you're not talking to my mama like that." And I'm using him as an example, but it goes for any of them. Whoever it
Yes.
is in that moment that even jokingly steps out of line, the consistency and, you know what I'm saying, the level of respect that is expected and understood,
Yes.
Mhm.
somebody gonna say something before I even have to say something. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
It's just
Yep.
one of those things. But it's, and so it's weird to me. It's different for me to hear kids just being so disrespectful or going back and forth. Like, we
But you
are
know
gonna
what
have
else?
a conversation. If I say you can't do something, listen, in my house, when I say something, that's what it is. I don't even know if any kid ever has in their life have ever just talked back to me. We're not having a conversation. Now that last little one, that last one, that one that I said I should have named I quit, he's good for that. But even with him, I'll have to say, like, when I'm serious, and that's that. Like, we're not talking about it, or I'm not
I'm
asking
gonna tell
you.
you this, because we teach, most of us teach our kids, that there's nothing you can't have if you put your mind to it, and you can do all things. So they're gonna test that theory a little bit. They're gonna say some things and push a little bit of boundaries to see how far she really gonna let me go. If she say that I can do all things, so
Right.
I got to see how far she gonna let me
Not
push,
all things.
how far she gonna let me push that. You know what I'm saying? But in that, there's that level of respect that you command because of how you carry yourself and what you allow in your space. Because some kids, I'm gonna be honest, like when Diamond was in school, when I went to her school, the kids in her class, they sat like this. Diamond, your mama is here. Like the teacher
Absolutely.
would come in and they'll sit there and what did you do? And are we all in trouble? And what, what I'm saying? Because when I talked to her that way, I talk to her friends that way. And if I need to call y'all
Yeah.
mama because y'all at this school acting a fool, then
Yeah.
you tell your mama
Yeah.
to call me and I'll tell her why I cussed you out at school today.
Right.
So you because
Period.
you
And
sitting in there
everybody finna
causing
get it.
problems in that teacher's room, and he already got his education. You the one that needs something out of here.
Yeah.
So y'all sit
Yeah.
down and tighten up. So when you command
Yeah.
that, then when they see you, they respect you in that manner. But when
Right.
you go to school and you dress like them and had on your other daughter's half shirt coming to the school with your midsection and half your back out, then sure all the kids gonna want to turn up with you. That's what they gonna
Yeah.
get. I
And that
mean,
is just something, let me tell y'all, that is literally something that I literally like I can I'm not with it. Like I'll never be that parent that literally feels like I can turn up with my kids. That ain't, we have our
I mean,
turn up, but it's a whole different manner. Because
different
baby,
thing.
listen,
Yep.
I am true to this game. Y'all can't turn up like I turn up, number
Turn
one.
up. Nah,
And number
number one.
two, at 41, my turn up is actually when I turn down, So when I roll up them sheets, take all of this off, you know what I mean? That is the turn up.
Turned out.
Don't nobody want
Yes.
to kick it with me. Don't
What'd you
nobody
say?
want to kick it with
Hey,
me.
look, it's
So,
over with right about now.
over with. Do you hear me? But I love the fact that we are able to establish a line of respect and boundary, to the point that when the kids that have been raised, and let me just say this, because now I got that one. Everybody got that one. It ain't that youngest one, it's that oldest one. Peter Paul will
Well,
definitely
because you was
try and
learning, you was still learning with him. You was still learning with that one. The
baby. I
other
need
ones got what you had learned. That one was all pure
all the way
unabated. I
back
didn't know
to
what was
it was
happening then.
this. Okay. Sometimes I feel like it was an epic fail. But hey, I realize it's just a journey and it ain't got nothing to do with me. Because
Yes.
again, there was consistency and the tools is there. So I'm saying this for any of the parents that are listening. It's like, well, my kid is disrespectful, but I didn't teach him that. I didn't raise him that way. That is always something that you will run into when you're dealing with individuals. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? And everybody, every young adult, I'll say, that has their own journey. However, before they became an adult and while they were still in my home, even now that you're out of my home, if you visit, it's respect that's expected, and,
Yes.
and it ain't a conversation we need to have. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? And on any given Sunday, anybody get out of line, my T-Rex is still there. This hand's still just gonna flap. You know what I'm
And can
saying?
I say this? And can I interject this? And that just does not
Yeah.
go for the way that you speak. That goes
Right.
for the way that you use my home when you come to my house. Don't come to my house and
Yes.
want to eat up all my food, but then leave your dishes all on the table and in the
Uh-oh.
sink. And you think that I'm finna be washing your dishes and cleaning up after you. That ain't
Yeah.
finna happen. that
Yeah.
that level of
Yeah.
respect goes for every aspect. You know what I'm saying? I'm
Yeah.
not your maid. You don't pay me to do this. And them is my
Right.
groceries. So don't come in here. And
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
mind you coming to eat them, but don't then expect me to clean up after you, to be, have what you want available, and then demand that something is here that ain't here. You know what I'm saying? It's just the whole dynamic altogether. Because
Yeah.
you can't, if you don't live at home, or even if you live at home, if your parents or whoever are buying all the groceries, and even if they go to the grocery store and bring them in the house, then what does that, you think that you're not entitled at some point to have to put the dishes, have to put the groceries away, have to clean up, for you got a free meal. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? Pick up your dishes off the table.
And you know what? And the thing is, again, is sometimes, they set it aside. You know what I mean? Not that the foundation isn't there. It's
No,
just
nope.
that everybody has that moment of I'm free, I'm grown, and you can't tell me what to do. So I'm gonna forget everything, that you told me in this moment right now, in this
Or I didn't forget.
season.
It's there and I'll get it later. I'll
Yeah,
get
yeah.
to it. No,
But I'm saying
don't get
everything
to
that you've instilled in them, it's like, you can't tell me nothing. You can't make me do this. So, wash the dishes. You can't make me do that. So I'm not. And so that brings me back to, this topic. I've probably been around about 4 or 5. Those that right there with Brandon on the skirt, just right there about to turn 18. Here we go with that bout to. They used to kill me. I'm back to be 16. I'm back to be grown. And I'm like, are you kidding me? You know what I'm saying? But do you know
Say,
that's
when did
one
I thought
thing?
16 was
Hold
grown?
on.
16 ain't grown, people.
No. Just the bout to. Remember that
Oh,
terminology?
about,
I'm
yeah.
back to be. That's what they used to say. But um out of all of the young adults we've raised, Brandon may be the only one I've ever heard say like now when y'all said, "Oh, let that man be grown." He'll tell you in a heartbeat, "I ain't grown," because
Mm-mm.
he's seen what happens when you turn grown. We was just talking about
Yes.
that.
Yes.
I wrote it, you know. And he is one of those that really, is just like, no, let me hang on as long as I can, because I've seen with my siblings and my cousins what happens when you turn grown. It get real. You know what I'm saying? It get real,
Diamond
real,
told me. Diamond told me, she said, "Mommy, you know what? I should have listened and I should have stayed a kid long." She
real.
said, "Because
Yeah,
groaning is hard." She said,
yeah.
"Groaning is hard." I said, "I ain't groaning is
Listen,
hard."
I say it all
Groaning
the
is,
time,
and
baby.
groaning
When
don't
you really
stop.
get grown, you won't want it. When you really turn grown, you won't want it. You can have it. Matter of fact,
Being
I'm selling
grown was
grown for
for the bird.
$3.99. Like, you had the
You know what
bills,
I'm
you
saying?
can have it. And so
Telling
I've
y'all.
been
Girl.
around. I've been around a lot. I will say about 4 or 5 recently. Just young adults that right there are just close to 18, and it's like, I'm almost grown, and when I turn grown, I'm doing this, and you are not gonna be able to tell me that. And I'm just thinking, like, for one, I think it's the most ungrateful thing to say to your village, no matter who it is, your mom, your dad, people that has literally nurtured you up to that point. You know what I mean? Um, Hence my backstory. You would have to know what it's like to have skipped all of those stages. You know what I mean? Where somebody got you up to that point, and instead of showing
Mm-hmm.
appreciation, I think it's so disrespectful to just keep flying out the mouth. I'm about to be grown, and you ain't gonna be able to tell. Are you kidding me? So that out of 18 years, that's what you got. You know what I'm
You know
saying?
Yeah.
what you do with them?
Yeah.
You
It's
pray
like that's
for them
what
and
you walk
tell them.
away with.
You pray
Huh?
for them and do it like that. Like that. You pray for them daily. Because the world's gonna teach them
You know
something.
what you
Oh,
know
God.
what you do
And you
when they go to school, you change the locks. You grown, you can be grown. Go ahead. Go
Simply
right on
Lorraine.
ahead.
Simply
that
Lorraine.
one right there. Wow. Yeah,
Simply
y'all.
Lorraine. You said that. Yes. Like, at
Yes.
this point, for parents, when you get to the point where, or your child gets to the point where that's what they're saying to you, not thank you, mama or daddy and daddy. I appreciate everything y'all did for me. Thank you. I wouldn't, you know what I'm saying, for getting me this far. Of course, we know all glory be to God, because the nobody comes with parenting, does not come with instructions.
No,
However,
it does not.
if your child is not saying that, you know what I mean, that's a problem. And we've seen a lot in and we did a show, audacity and entitlement. the audacity, and the entitlement that a lot of these young adults, young lives have, and just assuming that, when you are the kind of parent that fight tooth and nail to get them across, you understand, to that next phase, next chapter in their life, baby, it's so many that chose not to. It's so many
Yep.
that literally said, go be grown. Go. Oh, you want to do it at 14, at 15, at 13? It's kids out there that
And
wish
you know
they
what they
had
did? They changed the locks.
changed the lot.
They
Wow.
changed the locks, and
But
and that puts them.
yeah, there are so many kids out here that when you visit some of the inner cities, you know what I mean? Visit some of these shelters, visit some of the what is it called? Youth detention centers. When you visit some of these places and you talk to a lot of kids that have never had that support system, it just burns
That's what
me
it
up
is.
to see
Yes.
and hear a lot of the young adults that do take it for granted. You know what I mean? Because there's so many that has not had that. And so that's the one
So let
thing
me
that
ask you
bothers
this.
me.
Let me
Mhm.
ask you this. How do you react when you see those children who are not yours in the street? And that's how they respond to an elder or to a parent. Do you just let that be because that ain't your kid? Or do
Absolutely
you
not.
or do you respect, or do you step in and say, hold on, wait a minute? Because at one point, that person, that child may run up on one of your children or up on you. And
Listen,
that
and
conversation
there
ain't gonna
you
go the same way.
go.
Now you want to hold me responsible because I done
Right.
slapped fire up under his face because he don't know how to talk to me.
Not
You
fire up
know,
under his face, okay?
a fire
Under.
up under his face because
They
you
But
don't
said
know how to talk to
literally,
me.
this is a true story. So we have it's a group of brothers that live close by, and there's one that is just this little menace. And for some reason, I literally, like, he stood out amongst all of them. He stood out to me.
Okay.
Not really knowing his story, backstory, whatever, but it was just kind of one of them, like, I got my eye on you. And you could tell, honey, he was just one of those Peter Pauls. But he used to, I found out that he was coming on our porch and just taking stuff, and, whatever it was, he would just take little things or whatever. And so I finally found out it was him, who it was. We're doing the walkthrough, like the little orientation, first day of school, little orientation or whatever, or before the first day of school. And I seen him in the hall at the school. Honey, I must have been like, hey, come here, come here, come here. I had to do the come here.
Come the
Come here.
comer. Did you put the
But
mama hand? Come this way.
listen, come here, come here. Two fingers. See, come here.
Come around here.
I said, you been on my porch taking stuff. And bless his little heart. He said, yes, ma'am. Baby didn't even
Well,
feel
you
like
couldn't even have
lying.
been
Do you
at
hear
that point
me?
because he didn't lie.
He didn't feel like lying. I said, listen. So that's when I knew, you know what I mean? All right, this was the special case. So I said, baby, listen. I said, first of all, stay your butt off my porch taking anything. I said, you don't ever have to take anything from me. I said, to know me is to know that if you ask and it's a need, I said, I will give it to you. Don't take anything from me. I said, and secondly, I said, I'm saying something to you. I said, but you walk on the next porch, then Mr. Bullet gonna say something to that behind. I said,
Mm-hmm.
we're living in a different day and age. You can't just
Yes.
do that. And I said, I don't want to see your butt on my porch no more without asking me for what you need. And I
Mm-hmm.
kid you not, he said, yes, ma'am.
Yeah, because when you
And
command that type of
mhm,
respect from somebody and you will let them know that this I do not tolerate, they will put themselves in check because they will understand that's something I can't get away with her.
but
So because I can't
get this though. Do you know how many children literally want discipline? They want
yes,
somebody
all
to
children want
care.
discipline. All children want
Yeah.
discipline. All children want somebody to care about what's going on. Tell me when I need to eat. Tell me when I
Hmm.
need to go to sleep
Yes.
because I
Ask
don't
me what
know.
my grades look like.
Look,
You know
look
what I
like, you know what I'm
mean?
saying? I don't
Yeah.
know. They,
But
you know
you
Yeah.
what I'm
know
saying?
what? You know who don't want it? The ones that know they have it. The ones
Yep.
they
Yeah.
know they have a strong support system. The ones they know who care. Not that they don't want it. They take it for granted because it's like, oh, you're not gonna do nothing. You're gonna still buy me the shoes. I'm gonna still have a good Christmas.
But you
You know
know
what
where
I mean?
that
I'm
comes
still gonna
from?
get the car.
Baby,
But
listen.
that
If it
comes
wasn't
from
for Brenda
us.
K,
That comes
What you
from
there
say?
wouldn't
us.
be.
Not
I,
Hold on, Simply Lorraine, what you say?
I said, if it wasn't for Brenda K, it wouldn't have been a few Christmases in my house. Grandma wouldn't did that because I wasn't playing.
Oh wow. Yeah, 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 yeah,
I
yeah,
wasn't
yeah.
playing. I
Yeah,
wasn't.
and
yeah, yeah,
and
And
that
it was
comes
just
from us. The structure
appreciation,
of
though.
the discipline.
yeah,
And you know what I'm saying?
yeah.
And the consistency, like you said, of the discipline. Because when you're lackluster in that and you don't want to stand firm in and I don't feel like it today, let them go on about the day. You know what I'm saying? Then that go
Yes.
on to the next day becomes the next day and the next day and the next day. And when you don't correct that because you're lazy as the parent in your mental thinking of it
Say
and
it.
your that's what it is. Then
And
that's
that to
what you get.
me, and you know what, Shelly, that to me is exactly now that's where we go back and we shift gears again back to the adults and the parents. It is pure laziness. And for
Because
you
it's
parents,
us. We're
and
raising them, so
listen,
it's us.
absolutely. And for the parents that don't feel like monitoring a punishment, that doesn't feel like saying, oh, well, checking. If you say you're on punishment and you can't leave, whether you're at work or whatever, make a way to let these kids know I'm I'm watching, I'm not playing, and see it through. I think that you do the kids so much more of a disservice by folding. I'm being
Yes.
transparent because I've done that. I've been the
Me
strict,
too.
and then I've been the parent that folded. I'm gonna
Hmm.
tell you where my epic fail was, because it's never the children, whether they're adults now or not. They didn't fail. I failed the moment that I got lazy and was like,
Yep.
well, Aunt Juju B is in town, so you can come
How?
out
So
your
you can go
room.
about the room. Yep.
Well, you've been on punishment all month. Let me just wipe your slate clean. No,
Yep.
stop getting in
No.
trouble. Because
Yep.
if you cannot follow rules in the home, something I've told my children, rules turn into laws. So you can't follow the
Yes.
rules, then you're going to do what? Break the law. And then when you break the law, instead of me breaking my foot off in your butt, now, Mr. Police Officer or CO in the jail, you understand, who really don't love you is going to do that. So it's better to start at home. It's
Hmm.
better to give them, any loving, caring guardian, parent, it is going to literally break your heart. Yes, you don't want to hear your kids cry. You don't want to have them missing birthdays. You don't want to have them missing special events, that milestones that they can't get back. But when you
But are
give
you
your
going to take
child,
one at a sacrifice of all the others?
yeah,
Are you gonna stand firm on that one time so that they don't have to repeat that, over and over and over? And that's where I
absolutely,
can say that I feel short because my husband tell me all the time that I'm a pushover for Diamond. You know what I'm saying? He'll say all the time, "You let her get away with anything." It's just and and I can say that there was that time that it was like that. You know what I'm saying? And
yeah,
now in my understanding of myself And what I want in my life, that's a headache that I don't want myself to be going through. And see,
Yeah.
that's what we don't allow ourselves to do when our kids are younger, to say, you know what, I'm not going to keep going through this headache. I'm going to nip this in the
Yeah.
bud right here today. Instead of
That's the
looking at
word.
their
Keyword.
nip it
Nip
right there.
in
And
the
instead of
bud.
looking at their little face and you're saying, oh, you're so cute. And I remember when I was changing your diaper, and it don't matter. You can just go out and be a wretch. I don't care.
Right.
But
Right.
no, you gotta be able to hone that in and
Yeah.
reel that in and know where the boundary is set and what you allow, and that's to help them
But
develop that character.
yeah, yeah. And you know what else too? Simply Ray, you mentioned it earlier, and I wanted to make sure I touched on that because you were saying if it wasn't for Brenda Kay,
Yes,
and
if it wasn't for my mother, sometimes I'm telling you,
yeah,
she made sure I'd be like, I'm not fooling with Christmas this year. He's gonna
yeah.
have a Christmas, okay? Because I'm not doing it.
And you know what? What I was gonna say to that is one of the most important things. Because good God, I still go through that with Nita. You know what
Mhm.
I mean? And then when they turn around and do the same thing that I am punishing them or, whatever I didn't say no to them for because of what the whatever it is, and they do it to her, then guess who you calling? I'm like, I
Mm-hmm.
don't want to hear because if
I
I
told
said
you.
no,
Yep.
and so I'm saying that to say that it's very important for your village and everybody to be on one accord.
Woo,
You know what I'm saying?
so don't say that. I'm so glad you said that because at the end of the day, guess what? Big Mama ain't gonna be around forever.
Hello.
Yep.
Look,
Grandma ain't
hello.
forever. Great grandpa ain't gonna be around forever. Grandpa ain't
Yeah,
gonna be around forever.
yeah,
Mama and daddy might not be around forever. God forbid they go before you. So it's living after all of that is no longer around because no one's gonna love you like your family. No one's gonna deal with you like your family.
right,
When you're
right.
dealing with others, it's not just people giving out of love and doing out of love. They want something in return, and not as in just using you, but you can't just be out here looking at the world like somebody just supposed to constantly be giving, 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 and you're not
Yeah,
getting anything in return.
yeah,
It
yeah,
be listening, care, time, affection, whatever it may be. If you don't know how to give those things back, you know, it's going to be hard to have good people in your life.
And you know what? I love that you said that because that's something else. I would tell my kids that you get out of this world what you put in it. You know what I mean? And one thing about it, everything has a way of circling back around. And that one that I was talking about, baby, he got 3 boys now. And listen, that circle. I said, oh, baby, you got something on your hand. You, because I'm granny, but
Mm-hmm.
we're working on it. We see it. And the thing I love about their mothers is that they're teachable. You know what I mean? And they understand that, again, I can work with anything and anybody long as will is there. If you will and you
Yes.
desire, you
Yes.
may not have the tools. I didn't have the tools. I didn't know. We
To,
didn't know. But
but
Mm-hmm.
we'll
when
figure it out.
and when you see that you have a village that cares enough about you and your child, you know what I mean, and wants the best for them, I am here for all those that is like, you know what? Let me listen. Let me pay attention to that. You may have to tweak it, to suit your home, your lifestyle, your child, who's this individual little person. But nevertheless, the core foundation of what the principle of which is the respect, which is not being their friend. I don't want little Johnny
Mm-hmm.
not to like me. Who gives a damn? He will love you and thank you later.
Say
You
that.
understand?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm,
Yep.
I'm being like serious, serious. My son's first time going to jail, his first phone call to me, and it felt like a lifetime to hear those words was, Mama, you was right.
Yeah.
I want to hear
I'm
those
I'm
words
I'm
one day,
I'm
but
gonna
I
tell
don't
you
want to hear
this.
those words from that place. You understand
Yeah.
what I'm
I'm a
saying?
Yeah,
I didn't
and
want to
I'm gonna
hear
tell
those
you this,
words from that place.
because you said that about jail. I'm gonna bring up this point. I for Diamond had got a ticket, traffic ticket. She was trying to get
Mhm.
her car together, but she had bought a old car from my niece before it was running and everything. So was trying to get it running. She's on the phone with me, upset because it's not working and she's not listening to what I'm telling her, and committed a traffic violation. Pulled out in front of a car, and the police was there. So she got a ticket. Well, right when the pandemic was starting, she called to ask to get an extension for this ticket. So I knew the time was around somewhere, and I'm like, did you call about your ticket? I'm like, because they never sent a reminder to the house or anything, so you need to call and find out when you got to pay this ticket. Oh, I know when it is. I know when it is. I'm like, okay, are you sure? Because now it's going to be something different if you didn't go to court, you didn't pay the ticket. For like a whole
So,
month. For like a whole month, I was telling her, call to find out. So she finally calls like March 8th, and the lady says, oh, your ticket was due on the 2nd, so you have a warrant. Told you, don't be calling me like
No.
now, mama, what do I do? Now you got
Yes.
to turn yourself in. Now you got to go to jail and you got to walk past the people and
No.
sit down in the back with the criminals.
And
And now
don't
you
forget
got to
to
go through
say
all of that.
please.
And you still got to pay that $400. So instead of you picking
Absolutely.
up the phone, like I told you to do, and then so when she finally did it, she said, Mama, I know you was right that I should have just called, but I thought that I knew. I said, see, that's the point. When I
Right.
tell you to confirm, to be
To do,
responsible for
yeah, 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 yeah,
yourself.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You can't always say, well, I know I don't have to call, because you see what happens when you really don't know. Yeah. So,
And
you know what I'm
that's the
saying? So that's one
thing.
of those
You know
things
what
of,
I'm saying? When and that's the thing right there. It doesn't matter how old they get.
mm-hmm.
Long as we
mm-mm,
are on this earth, and that's been my saving grace in transitioning into the empty nester. I had to realize that the ones that have gone before him, they still call on mama. They still
yeah,
depend on mama. They still need my guidance. And so the thing is that, again, because I never put myself in a position to make them ever question me as far as the well-being or my experience, because I never got on their level. Again,
yeah,
I've never put myself in a position for you to see me as your friend, because think about it. If you see me as your equal, as your friend, you understand, then your friends don't know no more than you.
that's what I'm saying.
And
At your
so
age, your friends don't know nothing more than you know.
they don't
And
know
if
no more than you.
y'all two knowing people together, y'all really ain't gonna know nothing now, because y'all can't even formulate a positive idea, because don't
Listen,
neither one of y'all know nothing. So where's
I'm
you getting
already
your
knowing
information?
you need one friend in the group. You gotta have everybody.
Somebody
Kids, you got to have that one friend in the group.
like
Pardon the way I'm
like
saying
we
it.
have
I
learned,
say it way better.
you got to have a friend in the group that
You
don't
gotta
drink
say
when you go to
have
the
a friend.
club. Same
Mhm.
thing.
Yes, the one that's gonna be like, "Hey, y'all, that's stupid. What are
Oh
you
yeah.
doing?"
Oh yeah.
Exactly.
Oh yeah. And then
Exactly.
I'm not doing that. You know what I mean? You got to have a friend that just is like,
yes.
no.
They say, did y'all
Yes.
think about that? Did we think this all the way through before we got here? No, I
Right.
don't think
Yes.
that we did.
and and guess that's usually the only friend I like. I mean, I like my kids' friends mostly. If
But you know what the
once
kicker of that
no,
is that friend don't know what to do either, but at least they have the level head to say, I don't know that this is
let me
right.
call my
I
mama
don't
or my
I don't know
daddy.
what to tell you to do, but I don't think it was
This
this.
ain't right. This don't look right. And and honestly, I had a similar situation with another one of my kids, just like what you said, and that's exactly what their friend did. Their friend
Yeah.
immediately called me. You know what I'm saying? And that's why, again, when I believe that when it's established that I'm the parent, you know what I'm saying, then the children know that, hey, I can always come back. I can always call on mom. I can call on daddy, grandma, or whoever. It makes me sad more than anything for the ones that don't have
Don't
that level
have
of
that.
respect. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Or the ones that don't have it. Because when it's all said and done, like you said, Simply Lorraine, baby, once you get out here in these, what they call streets, not streets,
Screets, the
not
screets,
streets, honey,
the
the
screets.
streets. If you are not about this life, they will chew your little ass up, spit you out. You understand?
Yes,
And
yes,
the
yes.
first person that said, I'm grown, you can't tell me what to do, gonna be the first one back at home. Guarantee it. So
Yes.
while you're at home and you can learn something, little babies, sit down and learn something. It's not a joke. It's really real out here in
Yeah.
these streets. You
Yeah.
cannot give adulting back. Because I tried. I tried today. I tried yesterday.
No,
There
you
is
can't.
no return to sender.
It
You
is
can't
not.
get it back. And it doesn't seem like and here's the really disturbing thing or challenging thing about parents that are strict, that are firm, you know what I mean, that discipline, that love their children or whomever it is enough to discipline them. It's when they get friends whose parents is their
Don't.
friends. You know what
Yep.
I mean? So
Yep.
now I'm looking like, you know what I'm saying, the wicked witch of the east or west or south or whatever, because you have a homeboy or a homegirl whose dad or mom is their friends. Well, why don't you do what they do? Their mom is cool. Their dad is cool with it. You're the only one. Parents, listen, that do that. Can anybody tell you how? We cannot tell you how to be with your children, how to parent, but it makes it so much harder for our children when we have to interact with them. Because I went through this one time with one of mine, and some said, he keeps saying, Billy's mama don't do him like that. Billy told his mama to shut up. Billy slammed his door on his mama. And in my
Well,
mind,
you know what?
if
Go
y'all
live with
listen,
Billy and see how
no,
Billy
no,
living.
baby, listen. Way down in my
Do
shanana,
that.
some said, please don't try to pretend like you Billy. And guess what?
He tried it.
Listen. He
He
tried to be
tried it.
Billy one day. And I got
Mm-hmm.
the Billy Club and got to go. Listen, baby. No, ma'am. You will not slam the door. I think it was
Mm-hmm.
maybe a slam door. It was so long ago. Don't quote me on that. Let's just say it was a slam door. The door came off the hinges. Then the
Mm-hmm.
bed came out the room. You understand? Then all you had was a mattress. I might have even took the clothes and left one outfit. I don't know. I'm that extra. I'm that extreme. You know what I'm saying, parent? Because
Mm-hmm.
disrespect just it
You gonna
blows
learn.
me back. It's unnecessary. But I
Yep.
will say this: being respectful, raising children that are respectful, you can literally have a relationship with your children and not have to stoop to a level or water you know what I mean, your honor down by
I'm
becoming
gonna
their
tell you.
friend. And let me say this. My children were always allowed to communicate with me, like you
Yes.
said earlier, Shelly, with respect. If I'm
Mhm.
upset or you're in trouble, I have been wrong. You know that mama
Mm-hmm.
that just be loud and wrong? That's been me many times. But I've
Mm-hmm.
given my children different outlets. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying?
Yes.
Write a
Yes.
letter, stick it under my door. After I calm down, I'm gonna read it because I'm
Yes.
nosy. But no, really, I'm gonna read it because I do want to hear what you have to say. But
You know what,
right
Gwen?
now
I
just ain't
think
the time. So you can literally still have a relationship with your child where you communicate. And it doesn't have to be one of those things where, yeah, girl, yeah, don't.
I'm gonna
Who's
tell
your
you,
girl? I'm not your girl.
I think there is something that you taught me, and I'm certain that I got it from you because I don't recall anybody else ever telling me about this. Was the consequence box. That
Yeah,
I got that from you, didn't
yeah,
I?
yeah,
And
yeah.
and what I would put in her box is not only the punishments, but sometimes it would say, "Mom, take a break." You know
Oh,
what I'm saying?
yeah.
And if she pulled that consequence out
I
that
love
box
it.
and that was my turn, then you
Right,
know what? We just not even going to expound. You told me your half. I'm
mhm,
going I'm not, you gave me your spiel. I'm not even gonna go into that today. You know what I'm saying?
right,
You
right,
gonna get a pass on this one because this is my time to reflect about what happened in that situation and how I can grow
right.
as a parent. You know what I'm saying?
So
So with that,
you
I was gonna
literally
say,
just
so with
brought up
that,
something.
yeah, that helps, you know what I'm saying? And letting her know that even sometimes for minor infractions have a great big consequence. I don't
Yes,
control
ma'am.
what you pull out that box. So you might have only not taken out the trash and you lose all your electronics or whatever for a whole month. Like
Hmm.
for one infraction, well, you sometimes those things spiral and you can't always
Yeah,
control how a consequence comes from your action. So
yes,
maybe you did get
yes.
one that was
Yes, ma'am.
way over what
Shelly,
it
and
I
you
should have
know
want
been.
what?
that.
That literally is something that I'm so glad you changed gears, right? Listen,
I
honey, you own
remember
it
that.
tonight.
I
I'm
remember that
so
from a
glad.
long time ago.
And you know what? I'm so glad that you did switch gears to that because I'm big on, I don't like to talk about issues and problems and not offer up a solution. I'm just a
Hmm.
solution person at the end of the day. And so I want to be able to talk to you guys about different and I want to give our viewers whether they're watching now or come back later. We want to still offer up some solutions for
Solutions and
parents that
resolutions to what they're
can,
going through.
yeah,
Yes.
that can actually give parents, if you're not somebody to spank your kids, there's still solutions out there. There are options out there for disciplining them. Um,
Hmm.
if you're not somebody that um was disciplined yourself, you might have had a parent that was like, go be free, live your
Me,
life
me.
at 5.
My grandmother was the type that
Hmm.
as long as you went to school, everything else was really okay. If you didn't
Absolutely.
go to school, you didn't do anything. You stayed in the house. You didn't go nowhere. You didn't get nothing. That was it.
Yeah.
But if you
Right.
went to school, you was pretty much free to
And
kind
that's
of
the
do what you
thing.
wanted to
And
do. So,
absolutely. And I think we all could probably tell a story about, what I'm saying, having a little bit, not a little bit, a lot of bit of too much freedom.
too much.
But
Yep.
that's a story for another day. But my thing is, like for instance, the consequence box jar that you had. For me, and again, it's levels. Some people do timeout. Some people, whatever. You might have to stand, in front of the wall. I have done a lot of different things because I realized that spanking and whoopings, whatever you want to call it, wasn't just the only solution. That was something that,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? We were just it was just something that was handed down, but we weren't given many other options of being able to discipline. And I truly wanted to make my children thinkers. And even like you said, Shelly, taking that time for me to ponder on where to really go with it or really look at the root of it, the spirit of it
Yep.
all. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Because we miss a lot when we're just this doesn't work for me. You did this wrong. Spank, spank, goodbye. You know what I'm saying? Rewind and
because you know
repeat.
what I was gonna say, from us, a lot of times the spanking comes out of frustration. Now, not
Yeah.
saying it ain't a time when they deserve for you to slap their face off, but a lot of the whoopings come from our frustration because we don't know what else to do
And just
in
not,
that manner to
yeah,
make them
you took the
understand.
words. And
You know,
so, and that's the thing. But with the consequence jar, when I did do that, I'm trying to remember what level they was at, but
they was little. They was real
yeah, they
little.
were little. I literally, I put mine in, and then I made them come up with their own
Own
consequence.
punish. Yep.
And I
Yep.
taught
We did
them
that
to
too.
honor that. You can't get mad for right
If
now.
that's
Your
what you
consequence
pull,
can be,
that's what
your
you put in
consequence
there.
cannot be, I get a bag of Jolly Ranchers. No, we're not doing that. You know what I'm
That
saying?
nope.
But I made them, come up with really, realistic
Mm-hmm.
consequences that they had to honor. And 9 times out of 10, when they would pull it, it would be something that one of them wrote. Now, don't let it
Yep.
be a sibling, because they would be looking at the sibling like, really? You know what I'm saying? I can't go outside
Nah,
for a week.
I
Why did
got it
you
for
write?
week,
You
but
know what I mean? Right. But and so, but again, it teaches kids to be responsible and accountable at the
no.
same time.
Mm-hmm.
And I have a very dear cousin in love that when I tell y'all, she is amazing. She was actually supposed to be on the show, but it's date night, and hey, single moms lifestyle, single moms to wives. So we understand. Um, but when I tell you, honey, this woman juggles. She is the true definition of village, because she is there for her children. She is there for her extended children. She is there for her nieces and nephews. She reminds me so much of me, because I didn't care if it was first cousin, second cousin, third cousin, fifth cousins. Honey, everybody sent their kids to me for the summer, and the discipline and the routine and the chores never changed.
This,
The
yep.
level of respect that was expected, it was the same for Ed and the Lyric and Adriana as it was for Nico, Wayne, Nene. I have cousins right
I,
now that
I'm gonna
are
tell you.
literally about in their 30s, and they will tell you, when they came to my house, it wasn't you took out the trash at my house if you didn't do it at your house. You did dishes at
House.
my
Yep.
house if you didn't do it at your house. You did laundry at my house if you didn't do it at your house. And you got your
You
butt
sound like
whooped.
my cousin Christy. You sound like my cousin Christy. That's how she
Oh,
do
I
the
didn't
Yeah.
kids.
say. I didn't
But you
Yeah.
say,
know
but
what? Like even Diamond's friends, like when I used to have the daycare when we were little, all the kids, they call me Miss Shelley from the school. But their parents, even now when I see them, that's what the parents call me. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? And I'm like, and at first I was like, okay, my name is Shelley, but they were like, Miss Shelley, and I'm like, at some point I had to think that's just a respectful thing for somebody to say that to you. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Yes.
Even somebody that's my age, that means
Yeah.
that you appreciate it on some level where I came
Yeah.
from with your children.
And
You know what I'm
my
saying?
children, to this day, they refer to everybody as Mr. or Miss.
My
Mrs.
mom
such and
was
such,
my mom
Mr.
was adamant about that, and my uncles, and yes sir
Yes.
and no sir and yes ma'am and no ma'am. You what? Who is what? You won't have no teeth if you say what to my uncle, or if
Right.
somebody calls you
What?
and you answer what. Who is what? Might not even be able to talk for a week. The whole mouth will be swollen up.
Look, I got an auntie that be like, my auntie, she say, bring your lips here. Like,
And
she,
bring your lips
okay,
here.
listen, I mean, Sister Lorraine, you know, bring me them lips. And it's so funny.
Yeah.
Yes.
They were out here and spent time with us after the graduation. Because her daughter, which is my first cousin, is actually Brandon's godmom, and she had her grandbabies. And I forgot, I think the little boy did something, honey. And she said, Do it again. You move, you breathe, and I'ma slap the taste out your mouth. You know that old school stuff.
Yeah.
I told her daughter, I said, well, honey, she still didn't change. I said, because she didn't say slapch. Now, if she say slapch, you better run, baby, because it's gonna
You better
hurt.
run. Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
So that's like when you tell your kids, well, back in the day they tell us to go get the switch and you get the little bitty switch because you don't think that's gonna hurt. That's gonna be the one that's gonna tear the whole skin off the side of your leg.
Listen, I never had to get switches until I stayed in the country with my grandparents, my dad's parents. Every summer I was there with mother and granddaddy, and that's the only time I ever had to pull a switch or get a switch. I'm like, man,
Girl, we got a whooping with a ceiling fan paddle one time with the blade to the ceiling fan one day, girl.
Listen, Simply Lorraine. This auntie I just was mentioning, she's one that it'll be a train track, a house shoe, or whatever, and don't let you be old enough for her to throw something at you. You understand? And she never missed. I don't know.
Or better yet, let you think you're smart.
Oh yeah.
Don't let kids come around that got a smart mouth and don't know how to spell their name and don't know how to write. You will write your name. So, hey, you will learn how to spell in a matter of days. Your child will know how to spell their name, know how to write it, know how to do everything else. I promise you.
Sit at this table and write your name 900 times on all of these sheets.
And you would.
And they better be written nice, or I'm gonna ball the paper up and you gonna write them.
Exactly. And so to that, we usually do like pet peeves and things like that, but I would like to just offer I know all of our children are grown now and out the house, but Shelly, you took me back down memory lane, so I just kind of want to end the show in that space where we are able to offer up just different things to the parents, may not know any other options, maybe fed up, maybe like, I don't know what else to do, what to try. And so one of the things, Simply Ray, you just really, really reminded me of, God, I had so many. I wish I literally should have had one of my children on tonight, because they definitely would help me remember. But one of the things that I used to do, and again, like you said, Shelly, it doesn't matter if it could be a small thing or a little thing. You could have simply said what, you know what I mean? But when you start handing out passes, then for me is when, it's like, I'm gonna try your level of respect, and a little bit each time. So no matter what, the problem is or what you're disciplining them for, I think the key thing is consistency. And so, for instance, one of the things that I would do is, outside of the consequence jar, we have time out. Let's just start there. I'll start there because I have grandbabies that are 1, 2, and 3. And so, for instance, you can start at the age once you realize they understand what they are saying. I have Susu with me. He's 1. And while he's not talking, he understands.
Absolutely.
If I say, come back in here, he hold his head down and walk in. So pay attention to when they understand is what I would suggest.
Yep.
And for instance, if you have to sit them in the chair in time out, you don't have to pop them all the time. You don't have to spank your kids if that's not your choice. Some parents don't choose to do that. If they're 1, sit them in that seat. Don't let them get up for 1 minute. If they're 5, you know what I mean? Sit them in the seat for 5 minutes, or
5 minutes.
I would say no juice. You know what I mean? You're drinking water. They need water. It's good for the parent. Good for the child.
Yes.
They just don't like it. But it's a form of punishment that still you want to get them to understand that whatever it is you just did, that's a no-go. And there's many different ways that you can do it. Excuse me. As my children were older and they were able to write, say for instance, the teacher reached out to me and said, hey, such and such, is not doing too good in English. First time they got in trouble, well, whether they was in trouble or not, if I got that phone call, they was writing. But every time they got in trouble, their punishment was writing sentences.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the punishment, of course, was determined on whatever the behavior was. But if it was something really bad, oh baby, we've gotten up to about 5,000 words. I'm not even playing.
Mm-hmm.
5,000. Yeah, you can maintain your whatever it is your day to day is once I get my words or once I get my sentences, whatever it is. And so they're learning in a form that they know what not to do, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But they're also enhancing something educational that they need. So
Yeah.
those are just some of the things that I tried. What are some of the disciplinary things that Simply Ray, you've tried in the past outside of like your spanking and things like that?
Oh, like I was like there was a moment when I was extreme. I think I took everything out of the room. Dresser, it wasn't nothing but a mattress and no, it was a pallet and a pillow, baby. That's
Oh, not the palette.
dresser, bed, everything had to
I
go.
did that.
Uh-huh.
But then
Yeah.
I really had to find other things because guess what? He didn't care.
Right.
He didn't
So what do
back
you
They didn't
do
care.
then, Simply Ray?
Huh?
So then what do you do?
I don't know what I did after that. I had to figure it out because I was like, okay, he really well, because he was so resilient
Mm-hmm.
and nonchalant about certain things. It was like whatever.
Yeah.
It was like
Diamond is
whatever.
like
I'll
that
get it
too.
back. Like it's gone now.
Yeah.
But I'll get it back.
I'll get it back.
Yeah.
She's like that. Or like when you would throw stuff away and then would ask them, well, what happened to it? And then they say, you threw it away, remember?
Oh.
And so, and then they put that back on you, like, oh, now you want to get smart. Now you really ain't finna have.
Right. That's what Simply Ray said. And don't get smart.
Yes,
Yeah.
because they didn't care. That was like, oh well, I didn't buy the TV, so take the TV. I don't watch TV no way.
Yeah.
Shelly, what are
Man.
some things that you tried? Are some different disciplinary things that you? We know the consequence box. What else?
Well, I'm gonna be honest. When the consequence box we did really probably up until she was middle school. You know what I'm saying? And then them years in between, it was touch and go. So I don't really know. But when she got older, like when she was 17, we got at this space and she wanted to be grown and she didn't want to live here. So I sent her to live with my little cousin. Now, my cousin she's older than Diamond, but in that same, she was like 24, 25 at the time.
Okay,
so she had her own child, you know what I'm saying? And she had her own place. So I sent Diamond to live with her. And now while you're living with her, you have to see what it's like not to live at home. You got to follow somebody else's rules. You got to share your space with somebody else because you don't got your own room at her house. She's got a baby that you got to contend with there, hollering and going through whatever every day. And now you go through all of that. You got to feed yourself and cook your own dinner and wash your own clothes. Now you tell me if that's easier, if that's better for you than living at home and doing what I ask you to do. You know what I'm saying? And not only I didn't intentionally do it as a punishment, but also as a way for her getting ready to go away to college to see how to live with somebody else. It's different when you're not at home and I'm not paying all the bills and I'm not doing, you know what I'm saying? When I'm not doing all that stuff, it's different. So how do you deal with that? And when she came home from that situation, she was there for probably 4 or 5 months. And when she came home, it was right at Christmas. And she was like, Mama, I understand what you were saying because it's hard to live there. And then not to mention, she was in that space where she had just come from college. And you know how kids live that college life. And she's like, and mama, she don't be wanting to clean up, and I gotta clean up. And you see
Yes.
what that's like. And she got a baby.
Yes.
So now you cleaning up
Yes.
after her and her baby. But how you
And
think I
see,
felt about you?
my daughters went through that, and it was so funny because I
Yes.
would sit and laugh when he'd be like, "Oh, they nasty, they so nasty. Oh my God, mama!" And so, by the grace of God, I was able to hear, "Thank you, mama," and
Yep.
from college or from their apartments or whatever, once they experienced it and understand why chores was a necessity, darling. You know
Necessity.
what I
Yep.
mean? Chores was something that it's not a question. I'm not asking you. Like, I literally hear parents like, and they won't even do the dishes and they won't do the laundry or take out the trash. And I'm like, oh, it's an option nowadays. Because
Exactly. That's not
it
an
wasn't an
option at my
option.
house.
But my older children, when they finally got in their own places for the first time, that is when I heard I thank you, and it
Yep.
clicked. You know what I'm saying? As mean as I seem to everybody, coming up, yeah. Now, honey, I got one. I believe she a little OCD, Jesus, because she Miss Bleach, Miss Pine Sol, Miss White Down.
But they see it. And when you have to
Hmm.
live with somebody else that is not your parent, that is not providing everything
Yeah.
for you, and you got to buy your own stuff and you got to keep your own stuff together, then you see what it's like to have to take care of that space. And when somebody else is not helping you take care of that space, it's a
Right.
lot. So when
And you
that
know what
becomes
used to
on
get
you and
me?
that ain't
Yeah.
your child and your space, and you know what I'm saying, and on your house, but you still got to maintain it, then you see, I
Yeah.
see what she was talking about when she asked me just to pull my weight to wash the dishes. Or
Yeah.
even if I wash the clothes, I would tell her, make sure your clothes make it to the laundry room. I'll wash them, but if they're not in the laundry room, I'm not
I'm
coming to
not
get them.
washing them.
You
Absolutely.
know what I'm saying? So to be responsible for yourself in that manner, and I think that helped her a lot with
I
the
believe,
growth and
and
where I think she needed to go.
yeah, I believe that because I'm telling you, you talking about laughing every time I would hear them, and then I'm not a little, I'm a lot of petty, and so they would be like, and expect me to clean up and pick up and
Pick up
expect me to, and you know what I would be like, you don't say, huh?
yeah,
You don't say, huh? You know?
Yes, ma'am.
be like,
Oh,
how did that work
really?
out? What happened? Tell me
Like,
about that.
really? Oh, so what you're saying is you don't like picking up
Like
after people
to
that's
nobody.
capable.
Yep.
I'm petty. So they ended up understanding and appreciating it. And so again, even something like that is levels to this, and the respect is shown in so many different ways. If for instance, speaking of, stop asking your kids to do dishes, to do the laundry, to even as children, and especially younger. This is the cost. I would tell my kids, this is the cost of room and board. Period.
Yep.
It's the cost of room and board. You know. I mean, I listen. If I'm doing the heavy lifting, this is not. It's not an option, you know.
I
And
I
so,
told Tori, I feel so like I told him, I said, our dishwasher left. I don't know what to do. I need to find disposable dishes because
yes,
that was the
yes,
rule. You know what I'm saying? That was the
honey,
You're
agreement
right.
that you wash
whatever are we
dishes.
gonna
But now
do?
you live on your own. You don't live here. So something gotta give because I can't do that.
Listen,
I'm telling
everybody
you,
had to
when
go
I tell
through. Do
you
you hear me?
when I tell you that is like the bane of my existence is to wash dishes. I don't know. And it's really sometimes kind of cathartic, you know what I'm saying, when you could be in there. But that is I will clean the entire house and leave them dishes. Like,
Look, so
come
we
on
just
now.
had y'all know we just had the whole family here, graduation, all of that. Everybody here at the house. we of course we got a building, but you bring the food back, and I'm just looking
Mm-hmm.
at the kitchen, and it's just flooded with boxes and food and this
And you
and that.
just couldn't do it.
I'm
I
just
just
like,
can't do it.
oh my God. Listen, my saving grace, baby, my babies got in that kitchen, especially big girl, honey. And before you know, I mean, I never had to ask. She was just busting them dishes. I was, thank you, God, for Jesus. 'Cause I
My
was
husband said the other day, he said, you know what? He said we could adopt a teenager and they so they
like,
could wash the
can we
dishes.
buy us a human dishwasher?
They can come and
You know what,
stay. I'll take
baby?
them to school. We'll buy clothes. We'll do all you got
Yeah.
to do is wash the dishes.
But you know what? And again, I know, everybody parents differently. So there's no right or
Yes.
wrong way. It's
Well,
just
no,
what
it's
you
not.
can,
Mhm.
what you can live
With
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 later on.
yep,
Because that 1-year-old saying no and throwing stuff or having tantrum is gonna turn into a 5-year-old. You know what I mean? That 5-year-old is going
yep,
to turn 10. That 10 is going to be 15. That 15 is going to turn into an 18-year-old. And so, like you said earlier in the show, nip it in the
in
bud. You know what I
yes.
mean?
I'm gonna tell you this
Because,
one last thing because I know we're getting ready to wrap up here. And
yeah,
now she was 4, I think 4 years old, and she had been in trouble in school like all week long. And all week long, I was leaving from work and taking her from school and dropping her off at my grandma's and going back to work. So by the time I got off of work, her day had been on. She was fine, had been at home with grandma and was loving it. And she ain't thought nothing about what was happening at school, how she was getting in trouble at school. So this one day, her teacher called me and she said, I just don't know what to do with Diamond. She won't listen. She won't follow directions. She won't do nothing. I was tired at that point, and I went to that school, and all the kids was laying on the cot. And I picked her up and took her in that classroom, and I whooped her behind that day, and I left her at school. And I said, now you
yeah,
call me if she has a problem. Her teacher
right.
said, you know what? She said most parents would not have come here and whooped
Oh,
her behind
yeah.
at the school. And I said,
Oh,
well, let me
yeah.
tell you something. I said, so when
Hmm.
she is grown and she want to be killing and stealing stuff from folks, y'all gonna wonder where her mama
Yes.
was at when she was
Yes.
little. I said, so that won't
Yeah.
Yes.
be me. Her teacher said
Right.
after that, she said, whenever her class got out of order, she would say, do I need to call Diamond's mama? She said, and they would all
That,
straighten up and
that
they'll be in
part.
class and there was no
Okay.
problem. So
Yes.
you took
Yes.
one for the team for everybody to know that's not how you act. And if you nip that in the bud when you right there,
Nip
you
it
don't act that way in
in
school no more.
the bud.
Mhm.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And again, back to my cousin and love that I was telling y'all about earlier. That is who she is. It's one of those things where she rewards great behavior,
Mm-hmm.
but
Yep.
she stands 10 toes down. Do you hear me? When these kids are out of line. And I absolutely love and appreciate that, family or not, just because
Yes.
those are the kind of children, first of all, that is our future. Secondly, that you want in society right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Permanently, we need in society. And
Yeah.
she said something that, oh boy, it was one of those like, ouch. You know what I'm saying? But it was dead on. And I have to repeat this because it's necessary for those that contemplate, you know, discipline, that feel like, it's more important to be your child's friend than the parent, guardian, disciplinary, whatever it is. She said, you're not really loving your children when you don't discipline them.
Say
That's
that.
not love. I said, good God. And I felt that, you know what I mean? Like I said, there were times where I was just very firm, strict parent, but then I started loosening my rein. And when I started loosening my rein, not being consistent, giving in, folding, whatever you want to say, that's when I seen a shift, you know what I mean? And not for the better. So
Yes. Yep.
I would definitely say, for those that are just struggling with the discipline, it doesn't have to, I mean, you take keys if they're in high school and you done bought them a car, take them keys, take that cell phone, take them laptops. Everything is digital right now. You know what
Can
I
I say
mean?
this too? Can I say this with children also? It's the mentality of the parent for one. That's what I firmly believe, so I always say that. But I read a post one day and it said you can never be an effective parent until you stop being an obedient child. So that means even not doing what your parents used to do or telling you what to do when
Right.
it comes to raising your children,
Your
because that's what
child.
they did. You do what's best for
Absolutely. What's
your
best for
children
you. Yeah.
and what's
And that's
best for
what I
you and
said.
your children, and not
Right.
having to
Well,
rely on.
Go ahead, Simply Lori.
really nowadays we just have to pay attention to and understand that children, not only are they a person, but they're a whole human being, body, mind, heart, and spirit. They have their own spirit.
Yep.
And our job is to help them be who they're supposed to be. Not who grandpa say they're gonna be, not who we
Yep.
gonna be, not what the teachers say they're gonna be, and help them kind of hone in on that and help them become the who they're
The
designed
best
to
version of themselves.
Right.
Yep.
And and that
because
is
you don't want to necessarily, because society wants to make cookie cutter people. Everybody ain't the
Yep.
same. Your leaders come from those strong-willed children. Yeah, you might have to deter them a little bit more, send them right a little bit more. You might not have to pop them all the time. Give them something to do.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah,
because like,
yeah.
who told you when
You
you was a little
don't,
kid that it
you
was gonna
don't
be
break
okay
down
for
your
you to have
leader.
blue hair?
Yeah.
Right. You silly.
you know,
You
you
silly.
know what I'm saying. But that's what
Mhm.
I mean with, like, what Simply Lorraine says, that each kid is different, and you
Uh-huh.
gotta be able to know that part of them, to be able to know what part to nurture.
Absolutely.
'Cause you
But
know what? We
then
watched a
too,
movie the other day, and the girl said that she has thoughts in her head about a good bear and a bad bear. And she asked her dad which bear to follow, or which one is going to take over. And he said, whichever one you feed. So that's
baby.
Mhm.
telling you right there, to you know what I'm saying? What part of your children are you feeding that's allowing them to grow? He said, what he said, it's a bear, two bears inside of each of us. That's what he said. And she said, well, which
Yeah,
one grows? And he said, whichever one you feed. And so that
absolutely.
allowed
That's
that's that
good.
analogy that tells you on how to help your children, and encouraging them, and nurturing them, and what you're telling them, so they know what to tell theirself.
And I wanted to go back to what you said, Simply Lorraine. Shelley, that was really good. Something you said, Simply Lorraine, which is it is our job. It's our God-given assignment to
Yes.
pay attention to um and it just brought me back to the Bible verse about raise up a child. And of course, our good friend Prophet, I remember in one of his Bible studies, I believe, and this is like years ago when we met, actually kind of broke that down for me and what it meant to raise up a child in the way they should go, and when they are older, they won't depart from that. That is actually being the kind of parent that pays attention enough to see those child's gifts and talents and be able to raise them up in that. You know what I mean? So that there is no idle minds for the devil to play with, so that they
Mhm.
have something. They may stray. And it says
Oh
they may
yes.
stray. But it is, for me, my opinion, it is our job to plant the seeds of a strong foundation that even
Mhm.
when they stray, they still will come back to that one thing that they know is solid. So we have to be able to give them something solid. And guess what? It may not feel good right now. They may kick
Yep.
and scream, and I hate you. You dead to
They
me.
going to.
You not my mama, my daddy. We ain't family. Whatever they say, but I guarantee you, I did it for the thank you laters, not the thank you now. Just like how we live on our day to day. Those of us that know, we know our greatest rewards is not here. So you do what you have to do, you know what I mean, to get to where you're trying to go. And at this point, I just wanted to be able to get my kids to the next chapter, the next phase in the life where they take over. And it wasn't for, oh, my mama's so cool, my dad is so cool right now. I didn't care about that. I cared about, first of all, pleasing God and my God-given assignment. Because guess what? Everybody's not blessed to be a parent. I didn't want to take my assignment. That was my first assignment. I didn't want to take that for granted. And so, do we make mistakes as parents? Absolutely. We're again, they don't come with instructions. We make plenty of mistakes. Choice words sometimes is not the best. Talking, not realizing that they're present and they're hearing things and picking up things. It's so many different things that we can do, but this show is definitely about being intentional, you know what I'm saying, about giving them a fighting chance. Go ahead, Simply Lorraine.
Understand that we done went there, so we going there. The power of life and death is in the tongue. I ain't worried about this. Oh, words spell. So you speaking spells. Understand, you are speaking life or death into your child. So understand, we can say what we want to, but if you screaming at them from 1 to 5 and at 15, you got this child that you don't understand why their emotions are everywhere. Are they angry? Hello.
That's why.
Yes.
That's what I was saying.
That's what you put into it. It don't matter.
But that's what
I'm just before myself. It don't matter. Our feelings aren't that important. It doesn't matter how you're feeling at the moment. Watch what you're saying to the children and the people around you, because you can, as they say now, manifest. Think about it. We all got one in our family somewhere. Think about that one that somebody was always saying something to, and then that person at 20 and 30 and they full of him. Well, then nobody nothing nice to them and quit acting like you don't know what happened to them, and you don't know why they are the way they are.
Right.
You can't just say whatever and say, oh, well, I didn't mean that. Well, guess what? Our spirits are sensitive. Our spirits don't know if you're joking.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, and you're true with that.
You say what you say, baby. Yes.
But I can be like, ooh, Queen G, I don't like a hair wrap. That's ugly. Oh, girl, I'm just playing. Come on now.
Right.
Yeah.
No,
and people say, oh, that's shady. I mean, it ain't just shade. That's that thing that you speak unbeknownst that's the type of energy that you give off. Like when me and my husband first moved in our apartment, as soon as we pulled up, like we hadn't even unloaded nothing off the truck or nothing. The lady come from next door, just want to let y'all know that this apartment floods all the time. It's been 7 people that have lived here in the last 3 years.
Oh man, I cannot.
What do that got to do with me?
Listen,
you know what I'm saying? Now, like I can say, she might have thought she was helping, but in the words that you speak,
energy,
just quickly, you have caused it to be like an unhealthy space for us.
And let me literally to what Simply Lorraine said. I just literally had to self-check about that. I've always had this thing where I never like referring or calling little kids bad, because I felt like that they were not old enough to distinguish the behavior versus, you understand what I'm saying, it being them, who they are. I'm bad. not you're
Yes.
behaving bad. So I always had a pet
Yes.
peeve with that. Well, lately, and again, back to what you were saying, we're joking. We're just like my youngest grandson, Susu, that's here. He mean, he mean, he mean. Look at your little mean son. He's so mean. And I literally, it was either this morning, I want to say, it was literally this morning, matter of fact. And I said, you know what? And I went to say, and I said, no, he's not. I said, he's a sweet baby. And I kid you not, I was like, Grandma, sweet baby. I said, I rebuke that in the name of Jesus. And I removed it from the atmosphere because we have been saying that. You know what I mean? Now, he's
Don't
one.
say it.
We had been saying that. And I literally rebuked it, removed it, and started saying, you so sweet. You done my sweet baby. I kid you not. He could not, he instantly started kissing Adriana and would not stop kissing her
Yes.
because I just switched it. And I'm like,
Yes.
now I know better. But again, knowing that I was joking when I said it, he's one, you know what I mean? But it was a matter of
But
me having to reel it back in, like, this is what you're putting out in the atmosphere. And I've always
atmosphere.
been,
Yep.
especially when it comes to kids, you know, everything you say, they translate differently. You say you
Yep.
bad, or you say you did this wrong, or you know you always messing up.
But
They're gonna turn into that adult that hears that all the time.
that. Yep.
You're
And that's what I was saying
you a
about the
mess up.
respect
You
thing.
exactly,
Yep.
exactly,
That's what I was saying
and it
about the
starts.
respect thing.
Exactly, Shelly. And it starts with us. Simply Ray, thank you for bringing that up because it needed to be said. And you know,
And
I
it's not
believe in.
it on
Go
anybody
ahead.
who's really understanding. We've all seen it, we've all witnessed it, we've all had somebody speak something that wasn't kind. And if something's ever affected you that way, just be mindful that it affects others that way,
Yep.
especially our children.
Yep.
And
Yeah,
if
And
you
you
yeah,
know
don't
what? And what you just
put
said
nothing
about the
positive into
universe, Simply
somebody, you
Lorray.
can't expect nothing positive back. You just can't.
yeah,
Yeah, you can't.
yeah,
And what you said about the universe combined with what you said, Queen G, about what you put out in the atmosphere. Think about that about children. Like you said, how children absorb. That's how the universe absorbs. It gives you what you speak. They don't know that you joking. That you, when you said I'm gonna push his ass off the bridge, and then he get pushed off the bridge. Nobody did that. They didn't know you was joking. I didn't mean for him to go that way. You know what I'm saying? But that you just gotta watch what you speak in that way and
yeah,
think of it as how
yeah,
children learn and absorb that those same things are put out there. And I'm gonna be honest, I until probably I was 38, 39 years old, I never really thought about how my
Man, tell me about
words
it. You're not alone in that.
manifest in that way. You know what I'm saying? Like you
Mhm.
can, as you look back hindsight, you be like, "Oh, I did say that. I did. You know, I did
yeah,
that. I did that." But you, until it's conscious in
yeah, yeah,
you,
yeah,
then you
yeah,
have
yeah,
to
yeah,
realize at that point that,
yeah,
"Oh, I was guilty of that. I've
yeah.
been doing that." You know what I'm
And you
saying?
know
So
what? And to what you just said, we are not. We have operated in, um, you know, a lot of handed down, not so good, um, behaviors, blueprints, generational, um, things that were not the best practices, and so there, I think I said it today. You may have a off day. You may have a bad day. You may do like I did
yeah,
and slip up unconsciously, joking, but
yep,
like you said, Shelly, when you're conscious about it, reel it back in. You know what I'm saying? Fix
yep,
that thing, replace it. And I've been trying to be more intentional about, even when I go too far out there, now that I'm conscious about it, I try to reel that thing back in and turn it around and make it right, like you said, in the atmosphere, because the devil don't get no play. Not here. You
mm-hmm,
understand? And
Yep.
so you got to
Like
make
that.
sure you let him know my kids is off. My children, my children's children, my children's children, they're off limits. And again,
Yes.
it starts at the head and what
Yep.
the seeds that we plant. So kids don't know that their parents can be their friends unless, like you said, the parents allow it. You know what I mean?
Yep.
All they know is that they look
Because for a
to
lot of kids, that's not even a thought
an
that they have, that my parent is my friend, because from the
until they
jump your
try
parent has established that ain't the type, that ain't how we roll.
at
You know
all.
what I'm saying?
Being
And when they establish it that way, that that's not how we roll, they don't even, until they get to that point, like I was telling you, that when you have taught your children that there is more to life other than what is in your house, they are going to push that boundary at what,
oh,
it's
absolutely.
time for me to go. It's time for me to go. I can be my
Yep.
own woman. I can be my own man, and this. So they're going
Hmm.
to push that boundary. But for the most part, if you have told them that, they don't try to go beyond that boundary, because they already know that didn't work out well the first time. So I might not
And
try that this
see,
time.
um, and that's one thing that I know, I literally, I really, I believe in. When they get that close, baby, you can go ahead and consider yourself on the other side of that door out there and let me know how it worked for you. I used to be that parent, and it's funny because I just posted something earlier about stop being surprised when you know what I'm saying, when you see repeated behavior. You only get one first reaction. So that
Mhm.
first
Yep.
child that ran away and I'm grown and you boo hoo, where you at? This and the other. Honey, them girls tried it. The one and two, two and three tried it after number one. It was a whole different reaction. You understand? And
Yep.
now, if you come back in my house, we splitting everything. Since you grown, we
Mm-hmm.
splitting all the bills. We splitting all the food. You can't don't eat my food. You understand? If you need tissue, baby, they was
Yes.
at that table like, why you doing this like this? I don't want to be grown. I don't, huffing, puffing, all of that because I didn't already been through that. You understand? You only
Mhm.
get
Yep.
one first reaction. So we got to pay attention to exactly what it is, the level that they're on and what they asking for. But again, we've just got to be consistent. Y'all, we are out of time. Thank y'all for
I know
joining
we've been
us
waiting.
You know
tonight.
so.
We will go on and on and on. And we will be back again. Listen, next Saturday is going to be probably the best show we've ever had on every year that we were on the radio. And this is our first year live on um, all of the social media platforms with It's a Man's World for our Father's Day show. So the topic is, Shelly, tell them. The topic for Father's Day is the healing of
It's
the Black man will change the world.
will change the world. How are
What?
you helping him heal?
How are you? What are you doing to help them heal?
What are
So,
you doing? How are
what are
you
you doing?
helping them heal? What are
Yes,
you doing to help them heal?
I'm so super here for that topic. So, the healing of the Black man will change the world. That's so powerful and so dope.
Mhm.
I am not going to tell y'all who will be on this show, hosting the show. And we're going to be like the little flies on the wall because it's not about us. It's Father's Day
Okay.
weekend. I'm telling y'all now, don't miss the show. Everybody that is watching, still watching, share, like, make sure you pull up next Saturday to our virtual table and make sure you are here for It's a Man's World. It is always literally the highest rated show that we've had for many years. So you will definitely be in for a treat. I can tell you that. We love you guys. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. We'll be back here next Saturday at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Please like and share the page. Um, You ain't got to go home if you're not at home, but we got to get out of here because I am tired, boss. We love you guys. Again, shout out to all of our graduates. I gotta leave you guys, of course, close the show with a song and a video that Brandon literally made all of the parents here. And just to let us know, especially the moms, that it's not in vain. So whatever you go through with your kids, the struggle can be real, but just know it gets greater later. So I hope you enjoyed the video. We love you guys, and we will see you back next Saturday.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night, everybody.
It's a letter to my mama, letter to my mama, letter to my best friend. I know your love run deep, it'll never end. She taught me how to cook, she taught me how to clean. My dude's the realest one that is on my team, never ever picking sides. She taught me how to rise, taught me how to be a leader, never ever follow God, son, always follow God. She taught me how to pray, right before I eat, and right before I lay. Don't be scared to make mistakes. She taught me that it's human, so I'ma be like Nike, and just do it, anything I wanna do. I know my mama, she gon' ride, yeah. She say never fear no men, only fear God, yeah. So I'ma walk around with my head high in these fear guys. My mama, she gon' be straight, I put that on my God. And I kill 100 niggas before I ever see you cry. I love you, mama. It's a letter to my mama, letter to my best friend. I know your love run deep, it'll never end. She taught me how to cook, she taught me how to clean. My dude's the realest one that is on my team, never ever picking sides. She taught me how to rise, taught me how to be a leader, never ever follow God, son, always follow God. She taught me how to pray, right before I eat, and right before I lay. Don't be scared to make mistakes. She taught me that it's human, so I'ma be like Nike, and just do it, anything I wanna do. I know my mama, she gon' ride, yeah. She say never fear no men, only fear God, yeah. So I'ma walk around with my head high in these fear guys. My mama, she gon' be straight, I put that on my God. And I kill 100 niggas before I ever see you cry. I love you, mama. It's a letter to my mama, letter to my best friend. I know your love run deep, it'll never end. She taught me how to cook, she taught me how to clean. My dude's the realest one that is on my team, never ever picking sides. She taught me how to rise, taught me how to be a leader, never ever follow God, son, always follow God. She taught me how to pray, right before I eat, and right before I lay. Don't be scared to make mistakes. She taught me that it's human, so I'ma be like Nike, and just do it, anything I wanna do. I know my mama, she gon' ride, yeah. She say never fear no men, only fear God, yeah. So I'ma walk around with my head high in these fear guys. My mama, she gon' be straight, I put that on my God. And I kill 100 niggas before I ever see you cry. I love you, mama. It's a letter to my mama, letter to my best friend. I know your love run deep, it'll never end. She taught me how to cook, she taught me how to clean. My dude's the realest one that is on my team, never ever picking sides. She taught me how to rise, taught me how to be a leader, never ever follow God, son, always follow God. She taught me how to pray, right before I eat, and right before I lay. Don't be scared to make mistakes. She taught me that it's human, so I'ma be like Nike, and just do it, anything I wanna do. I know my mama, she gon' ride, yeah. She say never fear no men, only fear God, yeah. So I'ma walk around with my head high in these fear guys. My mama, she gon' be straight, I put that on my God. And I kill 100 niggas before I ever see you cry. I love you, mama. It's a letter to my mama, letter to my best friend. I know your love run deep, it'll never end. She taught me how to cook, she taught me how to clean. My dude's the realest one that is on my team, never ever picking sides. She taught me how to rise, taught me how to be a leader, never ever follow God, son, always follow God. She taught me how to pray, right before I eat and right before I lay. Don't be scared to make mistakes. She taught me that it's human, so I'ma be like Nike and just do it. Anything I wanna do, I know my mama, she gon' ride. Yeah. She say never fear no men, only fear God. Yeah. So I'ma walk around with my head high in these fear guys. My mama, she gon' be straight, I put that on my God. And I kill 100 niggas before I ever see you cry. I love you, mama.
Yeah.